Hello my loves, and welcome to your daily dose of astrological insight and inspiration for Thursday, the 13th of June 2024. Already forgot the date. I'm intuitive evolutionary astrologer Crystal, the crystalline priestess. Now let's jump in to the energy for the day. Okay, my loves, so we still have a lot going on. If you guys have been watching any of my previous daily horoscopes, you will know that this has been a very intense week with so much going on in Gemini. We have the Sun still, we have Venus, we have Mercury, and Mercury is getting closer and closer to his Kazemi with the Sun. That is going to be happening over the weekend. So, where do we start? Basically, the moon in Virgo today is going to be beginning to make a really powerful, really intense, strong T-square with Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Gemini. So there's definitely a lot of pressure still being put on us. Literally, as soon as I start filming, those dogs start barking every single time. They were not filming 5 minutes. They were not barking 5 minutes ago. Now they're going crazy. So, like I keep saying, guys, the frustration, the pressure, the annoyance of this week is very much still present. I think today feels like a day where there could actually be quite a lot of anxiety because the moon's being in Virgo. It's making these really intense aspects to Pisces and Gemini. And like we spoke about yesterday, Pisces and Gemini is the energy of being able to lose it, like literally losing it. So this is definitely a day today to not get too caught up in the weeds. Like I was saying yesterday, if things are feeling way too overwhelming and overstimulated, then it's definitely a time to take your foot off the pedal for a bit and give yourself a moment. Virgo is about healing and nourishing, self-care and all that sort of stuff. So with the moon being in this massive aspect with Pisces and with Gemini, it's definitely putting a lot of pressure onto the Sagittarian part of our charts and of the collective as well. And so all of us are really feeling like this like force or this divide, this splitting of our belief systems. Literally today feels like a very much of a day where we're seeing the collective splits. We're seeing where the collective is really kind of broken in two at the moment, you know, this side, that side, all those sorts of things. It's definitely feeling like today is a day where it's a little bit off. It just feels a little bit off, if I'm perfectly honest. It doesn't feel like it's overly, you know, I want to say exciting. Like, it doesn't feel like it's overly exciting. It feels like, if anything, it's a little bit mentally draining, a little bit overstimulating. And we do have the Sun in a beautiful sextile with Chiron today. So that does sort of show me that the collective is definitely feeling the wounds today. I feel like the wounds are on the sleeve. They're noticeable. We can feel them. We can see them. We can sense them. We can taste them. We can touch them. They're around, you know. We're really becoming quite aware, I think, of where there's some real flaws in the systems that we've been taught, that we've been showed, that we've been a part of. There's a lot of stuff coming out at the moment about what happened with Jab Central back in 2021, and the collective is feeling it. I feel like the collective is seeing where we have been lied to, where we've been shat on, essentially. And today is a day where there's just a lot of with that connection to Chiron, it feels like there's a lot of just sadness that I feel like everyone is in the process of moving through and accepting and learning to sort of understand, because it feels like we're dealing with collective trauma at the moment. It definitely feels like collective trauma. And with the moon, you know, moving into an opposition with Saturn, by the end of the day, it's going to be really just like this gradual building into the pressure. Because when the moon hits an opposition with Saturn, it's already intense, but when it's going to be T-squaring Mercury, Venus, and the Sun as well, that's just really blowing things up. So things have never felt probably so collectively intense for all of us. And so, you know, I can't even make this just a personal sort of horoscope. It is such a global energy. It's such a global you know, experience that we're all actually having at the moment. And, you know, Lilith is just getting closer and closer to that 29th degree of Virgo and making that exact opposition. And Neptune's going to be going retrograde, not yet, but soon. So it's like, whoa, we're really feeling like we are on the brink of some pretty intense stuff. And Pluto's still in retrograde, you know, slowly but surely getting closer to Capricorn every day. So we're definitely still dealing with collective power issues, control issues, you know, with the moon making this T-square with the Sun and Saturn and Mercury. You know, we are still seeing some really like ugly news coming out. Like we're seeing some really ugly truth coming out that is stuff, I suppose, that none of us really wanted to face. We kind of all wanted to put put the wool over our eyes, you know, to act as sheep. And this is an energy where if you know, want to actually move forward from this point, you have to take the rose-colored glasses the fuck off. There's just no if, ands, or buts. There's no getting around it. There's no, you know, what is it? That song that we have in Australia, that we're going on a bear hunt, and then it's like, we can't go around it, we can't go through it, we'll have to go under it or something. We can't go around it. I don't know, but there's like, we have to go through it. That's what I'm hearing. We have to go through it. So it definitely could be a day once again where our minds are feeling just chaotic. They are all over the place. So much intensity. There's so much strength coming through these aspects that it's asking us for real integrity when it comes to our mental awareness and how we're treating ourselves mentally, how we're moving through life mentally, the conversations that we're having, the content that we're consuming as well. Very important to be paying attention to what you're seeing on the internet, what's coming up for you, you know, the creators that you're following. It's really a time of discernment, 100%. With Neptune being this far out, nobody is clear. Nobody is as clear as they think they are. People are absolutely, completely lost at the moment and thinking that they've found God, thinking that they found, you know, also, you know, this is the energy of people who overnight decide that they're not going to be, you know, into astrology anymore and tarot and all that, and they're just going to decide to flip the switch and become a Christian and be saved again by the Lord Jesus. You know, it's like, this is the energy where that shit is happening left, right, and motherfucking center. And with the Chiron Sun connection, this is our wounded selves looking for something to hold on to, our identity looking for something to find, you know, connection with. And it's just a time where it's like, don't be building your identity off groups, off ideas, you know, with Pluto retrograde. Like, don't be building your identity off a collective of people that have a certain belief that is, you know, being pushed onto everybody, or a belief that is like, this is the way. This is not an energy of anyone having any fucking clue, because Gemini is about the curiosity. So, you know, anyone that's being like, I know the way, this is exactly how it is. And even like astrology, you know, astrology is open to curiosity and interpretation. It is not a belief system. It is facts. It is watching cycles and patterns. So it's about being factual rather than in your sort of like know-it-all energy kind of thing. It's like, you don't know, we don't know, none of us know at the moment what the fuck is actually going on. So this is not a time to be like, I've figured it all out, here's my formula. You know, no one has a formula right now. Society is under extreme pressure at the moment. There is extreme mental pressure coming at us from all avenues. So, you know, the pressure is really asking for us to not lose ourselves in this like push that's coming from us, at us from all angles. It's about discernment with this T-square with Saturn, you know, Gemini and Virgo. It's definitely about spiritual discernment and discerning what you're seeing in the media, discerning what you're seeing out there, because I can guarantee you that the majority of what we're seeing on any news, on any platforms, is bullshit. The AI at the moment is fucking taking off. So, you know, you might be seeing videos of leaders and of like, you know, people and things happening that are not really actually fucking happening. This is a shit show. It sucks, but it's true, and it is. It just is what it is. We can't deny it. We're not going to sit here and do our Sagittarian thing, you know, with all this pressure putting, this T-square pressure going on to Sagittarius. We're not going to sit here and do our Sag thing and say, well, I know the way. This is what I believe, and so this is what it is. It's not a time for that. It's a time for being open and curious and looking around and looking at the world around you, looking at your environment, looking at what's right in front of you, you know? Healing is in the small details today. It's not in the big picture. You know, the big picture, eventually we're going to start seeing it clearly. But at the moment, this is about focusing on the little stuff and just putting one foot in front of the other, plodding along, doing our things, and just trying to work through what we have in front of us instead of trying to figure everything out all at once, because this is not us figuring it all out at once. This is us being in limbo land. Curiosity rather than being in a doom and gloom, because this pressure, this energy, as the moon moves closer to the higher degrees, it's going to be putting more and more pressure on this really intense, really powerful T-square that is building. So it, you know, by tonight, by tomorrow, we're going to be really feeling it. So discernment over the next 24 hours for sure, and just trying to keep a clear head in the midst of just absolute uncertainty and loss of clarity, you know, as well as like loss could be something that's coming out as well. Like what are you having to understand that is gone and is not coming back? Because there's this collective maybe realization that's coming up today where it's like, holy shit, the world is just not going to be what it was 5 years ago. It's not going back to how it was. It is what it is now, and we're having to accept that. We're having to emotionally start to actually look at the facts and actually pay attention to that. You know, it sucks. It really sucks. This feels like the splitting. Like I said, the splitting of a collective that either wants to look at the truth and the reality or wants to really go down this delusional rabbit hole of like, everything's fine and, you know, the foo-foo woo-woo, and just like, you know, jumping on bandwagons and jumping on, you know, thought trains that are, you don't know anything about. That people, like with Neptune being at 29 degrees, there is fog everywhere. So it's like literally trying to fight a war, fight a battle when everywhere in front of you is just pure fog. You don't know if you're fighting next to you, if the person next to you is an enemy or a friend at the moment. So just discernment and focusing on what's right in front of you. You know, in the fog, all you can do is focus on what is right in front of you. You can't see far out, can you? Beliefs, thoughts, ideas, realities literally could feel as though they are shattering right in front of your face at the moment, and that takes us needing to sort of be okay with watching things crumble. It needs us to be, you know, sort of take a step back, looking at things from maybe a little bit of a higher perspective, instead of getting lost in the weeds of holy shit, what is going on in the collective? This is crazy. Literally no one in the collective at the moment is feeling resourced enough. Like, no one feels as though we have enough. No one feels as though we have, you know, everything figured out. This is Sun being in a sextile with Chiron is definitely us all seeing the fact that we are wounded. All of us, every single one of us. Doesn't matter if you're the president of a country, if you are the prime minister, if you're the king, if you are the queen, if you are a movie star, an actor, a bloody, you know, what do you call them? I keep thinking of a grocery person. Check out chick or check out dude. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are, what the fuck you're doing. You could be a teacher, you could be a nurse, anything. All of us, every single person on the planet right now feels as though they're missing something, as though we don't have something, as though there's a worry, there's a fear, there's a uncertainty about where it is that we're going. And there's an uncertainty even about whether we're going to be able to maintain the identities that we've built, maintain even what it is that we already have built. It's a shattering of our perceptions, essentially. And Venus is making an exact semi-sextile to Uranus today. So, like I was saying with the resource thing, there's just huge uncertainty entirely in the collective. And that uncertainty is asking for us to not, you know, jump into fear and to not jump into losing, because fear is really, really going to be coming up. Our values could be shifting today. Our values could be changing. We could be seeing things in a different way. And once we see things in a different way, that inspires us to move differently. It's literally this energy of faith over fear, and ignorance is no longer bliss, literally. You can't be in your ignorant little bubble anymore and expect to be fine and expect for things to just be blissful. And, you know, this is like I even mentioned it yesterday. An example would be like being in the law of attraction sort of like belief system and being in a point where war is at your doorstep and you're sitting there trying to think your way into a different reality when war is literally sitting at your doorstep. Like, it's literally out the front. So are you just going to sit inside your house and keep imagining that the war's not there when the reality is that the war is there? That's this energy. There's a lot of people trying to imagine that the war ain't there, that shit's not tapping on the door, but shit is tapping on the door. We have the gossip archetype coming out. It says, awakens consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. Shadow attributes is thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidences. So this is definitely a day, like with all this Gemini stuff, these massive T-square that's building, there is information that is going to be coming out. There is a lot of information that's going to be coming out, and information that was hidden, information that was tucked away, that we weren't meant to hear, you know, and it's got the collective feeling wounded, hurt, and upset. We also have the Midas and the Miser. Light attributes is entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, to life in sharing life's riches. Shadow attributes is hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. And that's definitely the energy today with, you know, these connections with Chiron and with Venus and the Sun, and then this Venus making her connection with Taurus in Uranus and Taurus. I mean, and like this T-square, it really is about us feeling as though we don't actually have enough. Like I said, some of us are feeling like we can sort of, you know, we can keep going and we can keep receiving and we can keep building and creating, and, you know, that creative energy is bringing us more. But a lot of us are also really, really scared, you know? Are you going to be in this energy of hoarding your money and holding on to the little that you have? Or are you going to sort of open up to your ability to turn literally anything to gold? This is about us having discernment. What are the goals and the dreams? If something is scaring you, you know, this feels like for a lot of us, we are trying to sort of get ourselves out of a box as well, getting ourselves out of, with the shapeshifter coming out, we're shape-shifting out of something. And so, you know, this is us needing to really work with our self-worth issues, to really work with our issues around whether we deserve certain things, our issues around fear about going for our dreams and going for the things that we really truly want. This is our desires. Plus, you know, we still have this Mars square Pluto. It's you know, fading, but it's still there. So the desires are still feeling really, really strong and really, really powerful. But there is definitely a lot of fear coming up about, can I do this? So, you know, with this Midas and Miser coming out, yes, you can. I just said, Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Bob the Builder, yes, we can. So you can, you know, we really can do this. It's just that it's your mentality. Needing to have like a healthy mentality is the most important thing at the moment, today especially, and over the next few days, because the mental shit that we're going to be seeing in the collective, we're going to be seeing people having full-on schizos, like just losing it, literally just losing it. So take care of yourself, my loves. Even, I feel like, watch the daily horoscope from yesterday, because this is, the energy's just still passing on. We have the King of Coins coming out, and he did pop out in the reverse to begin with. So this is us having to be in this stable energy. But there's a lot about resources coming out. I definitely think that this connection to Saturn, the Sun, and because Venus is there, and the Moon is us really, and with that connection with Chiron as well, it's us really feeling like we're needing to like create a sense of inner resource. Because the resources from the outside world are not the same. We have the Ace of Cups coming out. I love this. I actually love this for a day that is really, really powerfully intense and like overwhelming, or building into this overwhelm. We have amazing cards out. We have the Star, we have the Nine of Cups, and the King of Wands. So we have the King of Coins and the King of Wands. Look, this is actually really, really strong. For us, this collective like shitstorm is really making the pressure create a diamond, you know? I feel like we are becoming so much stronger, so much more powerful, so much more connected to our missions, our passions. And that's the thing. I'm like having a little bit of trouble communicating today. And I haven't really had that problem over the past few days. So it does definitely feel like a day where there might just be a little bit of, you know, like I was saying, the anxiety around what it is that we can build, whether we're good enough, whether we're able to do something in a good enough way, just the self-doubt, you know. So these cards are saying that if you hold the faith, this really is about faith. It's about discernment. It's about believing that you can actually have something and receive something, but it's also about, you know, putting in that work, and putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the love, and that all starts with you doing that for you internally first, you know. Today is a day where it's like, once again, the stimulation is high. There is a lot to do. We are all really busy at the moment. So if you can take moments to sort of, with this King of Wands and the King of Coins, if you can just take a moment to stop, to breathe, and to, you know, inspire yourself. The King of Wands is about confidence. This is about being confident that you have what it takes to create and to build your wishes. Definitely listen to the channeled song today, because it's definitely a day today where it's like the realization that you can do this, but it's not going to look the way that you thought it would look. It's not going to be the way that you thought it was going to be like 4 years ago. This is realizing that the world has changed, that the world is different, and you have to stand in your own power now, because it's not about us being guided by anyone, like the government, all that sort of stuff. We're seeing that where the collective, you know, this is Pluto and Aquarius. We're seeing where the collective humanity is now having to step up to the plate. And we're having to create in a whole new way, in a way that wasn't available to us before. It's really with this T-square with Saturn and Pisces, spiritual discernment and actually using your spirituality to ground and root you at the moment. You know, this is not a day to ignore your practices. We have inner truths coming out. So there is a massive truth, and this feels like the split that I was talking about. It's the truth that the collective is in a mess. It's the truth that all of us are in a little bit of a mess. We all feel fucking chaotic at the moment. And so, you know, this is you seeing that there is a new path forward. There is a new way to walk forward. There is a new, fresh approach. And this fresh approach is not about you having your head stuck in the sand. This is about you being a powerful leader, even with this Queen archetype coming out. This is you being in a powerful leadership role in this new earth that we are in. You know, and the spiritual community loves to call New Earth 5D. Woo, we're all on this timeline and none of us are going to be affected by all this crazy shit in the world. That is not true. The reality is that we all exist in this world, and that the reality is here. You know, we can't just bypass it by getting in our heads. People don't realize that spiritual, like this is 29 degrees of Pisces stuff with this massive T-square and with Lilith opposing it. It's not just... Like I said it the other day, it's not just about thinking and growing rich. You're not just going to create abundance out of fucking thin air right now. And it's really a message that's coming up a lot. Because these Gemini squares to Saturn is saying, look, there is work that actually has to be done here. There is spiritual work that has to be done. It's not just about deciding that, oh, my thoughts create my reality, so I'm just going to think better thoughts. It's not like that. And I fucking promise you guys, I spent 6, probably more, from the time I was 19 until 24, being so in love with Abraham fucking Hicks and listening to every goddamn word they fucking put out there. And I went to their workshops. I went all the way to America. I went to a workshop in Long Beach, California, and I went to it, and I couldn't even admit to myself at the time that the workshop felt really weird. And it didn't actually feel inspiring to me. And it didn't actually, by the end of it, I was like, wow, that didn't feel like it fucking cleared up anything. I was like, but I couldn't even admit that to myself. I couldn't even admit that to myself until now. You know, so guys, it really is about the spiritual discernment. And I'm speaking from experience because I was so friggin' lost for so long trying to manifest and create a reality just out of the thoughts in my head without realizing that I had proper shit to deal with, and that astrology is actually the truth. To be honest, Hermeticism is the truth. As above, so below. We are humans here on Earth. So anyway, I'm not going to go down that tangent anymore. This reading's already too long. But this is just the energy that we're in, and I want these readings to be quick, but we're in such intense times that they kind of can't be. There's so much to talk about, you know? So we have show your support and adventure coming out. So showing support to the collective in your way. You know, going on an adventure now. This is about us adventuring into a new way of being able to support ourselves and supporting the people that are around us, and supporting, you know, this life that we're looking to create. Like I said, the higher perspective thing, you know, this is taking a step out, a step back, and looking at things with a bit of a bird's eye view, and actually being able to understand that being a human is an adventure, you know? Being a human is this really crazy, weird, amazing thing, you know? And we don't need to take ourselves out of this human experience. It's about being in this human experience. Show your support. This feels like we have a lot of, you know, spiritual guidance around us. We have a lot of energies around us. We have a lot of beings that are here to support us, ancestors, all that sort of stuff. And so if we're not, you know, opening ourselves to this truth that we are actually supported, and that we do need to care about our spiritual health. You know, this is about spiritual health, because if you're spiritually unhealthy right now, you're going to be having a lot of really intense, you know, mental issues, basically. And so spiritual health is going to get you absolutely anywhere, because spiritual health equals spiritual wealth and physical wealth. We have culmination of vision. So today is about seeing the big picture, like I said, the vision, but being rooted and grounded in something that is real, in something that is tangible, in something that can be felt, seen, heard, you know, being curious about where you're going, but without having to figure it all out at once, like I keep saying. Anyway, my loves, I'm going to leave this reading here. I apologize that I couldn't speak as well today. It's definitely a Chiron Sun connection day today, for sure. I got my hat back on, my hair is trash, and I woke up late today. So it's just one of those days, but we're all feeling it. We're all in this energy. So I would like to thank your angels, your ancestors, your higher selves, your spirit guides, all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you and I in all moments, for allowing me to receive and to deliver this message to you. If you would like to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can do that down below through the links. If you enjoyed this and resonated, please do give this video a thumbs up, because it helps to spread these to more beautiful other astro lovers. Make sure you check out the channeled songs for the day, and check out your horoscopes for the week, because the rest of them will be going up today. I really fucked up with my time management on that, but like I said yesterday, it's a learning curve, so I'm getting there. I'm in this energy too. I'm trying to figure things out one step at a time. So I love you guys. I really appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.